Hey everybody, it's Brian. Hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining me. I put this on Twitter. I never tweet anything. I think in the 8 years I've had Twitter, I've maybe tweeted one or two things. Anyway, today I'm doing a quick video for you entitled Stop Learning to Trade. Just stop. Stop right now. Stop learning to trade and run a business. I mean, here's the thing. My friend Rob did a video yesterday, the day before, and it kind of inspired me, got me thinking about this stuff, and inspired this video that we're doing right now. A lot of what I do on the MakeMoneyFromYourLaptop.com channel, in Facebook and now on YouTube as well, has to do with trading. Trading is my main wheelhouse. It's what I've been doing, for the longest, and it's kind of the main focus of mine. So I haven't gotten to some other things about making money, and we will eventually, but it's been trading. And one thing I think, especially recently in talking to a lot of newer people about trading, is I'm finding, and I found this before, but I'm finding it repeating the same patterns over and over, which is that everyone that's coming into the trading space is looking for that latest edge, that secret unknown process that's going to give you 100% winners and blah, blah, blah. All the bullshit you hear through the marketing that's in your inbox every day. And God bless them. I'm not knocking that stuff. Most of it is good training information on how to trade. But let's you know a little secret. There are no secrets. It's anybody that says they've got the undiscovered truth about blah, blah, blah. It's bullshit. It's not bullshit. I mean, it's good information, but it's needed. That hook is needed in order to get you to buy it. Anyway, I'm going down a really long path that I don't need to go down. My point is, stop looking for that holy grail. Stop looking for trying to give yourself that latest, that greatest, that new thing that's going to suddenly improve your trading. Because none of those things are going to improve your trading. They might. They'll help you, but those are tools, right? Trading comes down to mindset and process. That's what it is. Mindset and process. And the process has to give you a mathematical advantage in the long term over the marketplace. That's really it. So stop learning to trade and just learn to run a business. That, at the root of it, that's what it's all about. And that's what Rob was talking about the other day in his videos, was about running a business. That's what it is. I thought that was such a beautiful way to put things. Trading is less about the latest and greatest discovery and the latest and greatest edge and the latest and greatest whatever. It's all about running a business. And if you've got a business, if you've got a sticks and bricks business, right, you're not constantly trying to make changes to that business. You're not constantly changing your operating hours. You're not constantly changing your operating your staffing. You're not you might be constantly changing your staffing to account for various things that are occurring in the market. But you're not constantly changing the name of your business. You're not constantly changing what your business does. You're not changing from selling toys to changing to selling toilet paper, right? Your business needs to be consistent. And that's the same with trading. Trading is all about finding something consistent, doing something the same way every time, day in and day out, market session in, market session out, that gives you a slight edge. And over the long run, that's what's going to make you successful as a trader. Let me pop over to a chart, and I'll share a chart with you from this morning, which goes back over the same exact super basic trading strategy that I've been talking about here on Facebook for a couple of months now, and just starting to share here in YouTube and other places as well. But I'll share this with you, and then we'll talk about some other things about running a business, because I think that's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on having you run a business and stop going through continuing education constantly, right? We get caught up in this loop. We get caught up in, I have to learn about why this candle pattern is better than that candle pattern. I have to learn about what's going to happen when the pivots line up with support and resistance and it crosses this, and that's how I'm going to take my trade. Forget it all. Let's just focus on the basics. As a mentor of mine back in the corporate business world used to say, focus on blocking and tackling. Those are the basics. Focus on blocking and tackling. Everything else will come together for you. So let me pop over to the chart, and then we'll start talking through some business basics. All right. So here's a chart. This is today. Right. This is today. It's a 30-minute chart on the ES. I posted this stuff into Facebook so you can see it. Coming into the day, we saw kind of a new level. So this level, this 3006 level, wasn't on my chart yesterday. Coming into today, looking back over time, we saw how this level was really tested and supported pretty well. And so based on that level, I made some decisions. I didn't do anything outside of what I would normally do. My decision-making process was the same around how I would trade it. Ultimately, today it worked out as a win for me. It doesn't always work out as a win, and that's part of running a business. So let's pop up a quick Word document over here, and let's just talk about running a business, right? What do we need to have to run a business? Well, we need to have, let me just put a title in here. Let's say this: Stop learning to trade. Let's put this in here: Stop learning to trade. And what do we need to actually do? We want to focus on running a business. Well, what do we need to run a business? Obviously, if you've got a sticks and bricks business, you'll have done some research ahead of time. So you're going to know what niche your business is in, right? You're going to, you've done some research in advance, and you've said, hey, maybe I want to have a sandwich shop or a souvenir shop, or I'm going to own an insurance company or real estate company or whatever, right? Let's just assume you've already made that decision. So the business, by the way, the niche might be, are you going to trade forex? Are you going to trade crypto? Are you going to trade futures? Are you going to trade stocks? Are you going to trade options on stocks? That's your niche. Consider that being your souvenir shop or your sandwich shop or whatever, right? So we're into that niche. Once you've got your business going, the things that are important to you are cash in and cash out, right? That's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on how are we going to run that business? What are we going to do? Now we're going to measure, just like in trading, we're going to measure our cash in, our cash out on a daily basis. But if you own that souvenir shop, let's just use a souvenir shop as an example. If you own that souvenir shop, and one day it's a beautiful sunny day, people are feeling good, they've just come off the lake, they're wanting to buy some refreshments and some souvenirs from this really cool town that you happen to live in. But it's sunny, they're feeling good, so the tour bus stops and it just unloads all the people, and they buy. Think of that as a day like today in the marketplace, where you actually have you've got a good positive day, you've got a win. All right, we've got some cash. We took in a bunch of money, we've got some cash in store. But tomorrow, maybe it's rainy and gloomy and nobody's out, nobody's stopping, nobody's coming to town. Maybe it's the off season. You're going to have days where you simply don't make profit. That's part of trading. We've got to look at it, cash in, cash out. We're going to measure that on a daily basis, but we're not going to change our entire business based on what's happening over the course of one day. I think everyone here that might be watching this would agree, if you own a business, you aren't constantly changing the direction of that business, the type of business, the hours of the business based on what happens day over day. You're going to look at trends, and you're going to look at long-term trends. You're going to look at, if you own, coming back to the souvenir shop example, you're going to have maybe business hours that are peak season, and you're going to have business hours and days that are off season, right? But you're not going to change daily on what's happening in your business. The same thing should be applied in trading. We know that in trading, we're going to have days where we either don't make as much money or we lose money. Think of it as having a business where, I'm sorry, I've got these texts rolling in right on top of my video screen here. Think of it as a day where you've got your employees working, and you're paying out, obviously, money for those employees, but nobody comes in. So then you have a cost for the day. That's the same thing in trading. You might have a day where you've taken a trade from a level that you're comfortable with, and it moved against you, hit your stop loss, and now you're out. Okay, fine. Now you have a decision to make. Do I trade again? Or do I just leave that one trade for the day? How many trades am I going to take over the course of a day that will allow me to hit my maximum of potential cost for the day. So cash in, cash out. What am I willing to spend each day on my business? That's your maximum risk, right? So consider that. Think through that piece of information. You've got to have it. On the days where you've made windfalls, you've made more than you were expecting to make, or you've made more than your goal. What do you do with that money? Does it go back into business and you roll it in and you increase your risk based on the new high watermark that you've made in your account? Or do you keep your risk consistent day over day? Those are things that you'll have to answer for yourself. I can't answer those questions for you, but consider it like a business. Cash in, cash out. Very important piece to consider when you're looking at trading. It's less about the latest, greatest plan. It's more about how to reserve your capital. Next thing is operating hours. What time is your business open? Operating hours. Let's put that in here. Operating hours. Again, if you're trading crypto, if you're trading forex, those markets trade around the clock. Now, forex trades 5 days a week. Here in the US, it starts Sunday evening and goes through Monday afternoon at London close. Crypto trades 24/7. You can trade it at any time. Futures market, you can actually trade off hours futures as well. So anyway, what I'm getting at here is consider your trading or your operating hours. If you run a business, you're going to have hours of operation that business is open in. When do you start? When do you close? When do you open? When do you close? Running your trading business would be the exact same thing. Give some consideration to what hours are you able to be in the market? When can you be present? When can you trade at the same time every single day? Make it consistent. That time of day should be based on when there's actual market volatility, right? So coming back to your souvenir shop example, if you own a souvenir shop and you're in a resort town near a lake, right? You're going to want to be open during the hours where you get the peak of that lake traffic, right? You want to be open when people are going to the lake to unload their boats and pick up their drinks and their goodies and things, and you want to be open as they're coming off of their day out and they're looking to again get some snacks after being on the lake and maybe pick up some souvenirs from their incredible day that they've just had out there, right? You want to be open during peak hours. When you're trading, you want to have operating hours of when you can be there, but preferably you also want to trade during the time that you've got the most activity. So look at some history, figure out the market that you're trading in, the niche that you're trading in. When is it most active? If we come back and let's say I've got a futures chart up right now. If we look at the futures market, these are off hours. So starting here where this dotted line is, begins your off hours, and this leads up to right about here when the U.S. market session opens. Look how much more active things typically are. Typically, not always, but look how much more active things are when the U.S. market is open versus when we're in off hours. Trade during times when you've got opportunity to make money. And opportunity to make money means you've got to have some level of trading occurring there, right? So we want to trade during good hours that have that volatility and that traffic that we need in order to be able to make money. The next thing is inventory control, right? If you're in a business, you want to have inventory control. Let's just type this in here. Inventory control or loss prevention, right? Every store has a loss prevention area. If Target didn't have loss prevention, everything would be just walking out the door all the time, right? So as owning your souvenir shop, you're controlling inventory and you're making sure that your trinkets aren't walking out the door. Now, obviously, you've built into your operating plan for that sticks and bricks business for your souvenir shop. You know that from time to time there are going to be things that walk out the door. Unfortunately, the 5-finger discount applies itself more frequently than we might like, right? So, knowing that the keychain odd keychain might be stuck in a pocket and walk out the door. The candy bars, the sodas. There's going to be some level of theft that occurs in your souvenir shop business. Same thing in trading. Think about having a loss prevention department, an inventory control department. You know, loss prevention is your risk level attached to the capital that you've got set aside to trade. You know, when you're ready to take a trade, plan out that trade. What's the maximum I'm willing to lose on any given trade? Set that stop loss when you go into the trade. You know, look at where your entry is and set that maximum risk point. Make sure it's based on something that's got a real value to it. Don't just say I'm going to risk 1 point per trade or whatever it might be. Make sure that whatever your risk level is has some backing behind it, and then adjust your lot sizing appropriately based on where that stop loss would lie. But enter your stop loss with your trade. If you don't, a good example is a couple days ago on the on oil. Let me find it over here. A couple days ago on oil, yeah, it was right here. I forget what day was that. When was the 17th? Anyway, whoops. This move. Darn it. This move that happened, this one right here, this move all happened in about a minute. Well, not the entire thing, but a good 2 points of this move happened in literally a minute. So if you're entering a trade, if you're planning to say, hey, I'm gonna enter a trade and I'm gonna sell something, well, let's say maybe you were buying it at that time. If you're gonna enter a trade and you're entering a buy order, make sure you attach to that order a sell at the same time. Make sure you've got your stop loss attached at the time that you put that trade on in the market. That's your loss prevention department going to work for you. That's the person looking over your shoulder and making sure that more than what you expect to happen per your plan isn't walking out the door. If you had entered this trade over here, let's say, just hypothetically, let's say that you were entering a buy order on this and you put your buy on, getting kind of complacent, thinking, oh, I can enter my buy, and after a tick or two, I'll go in and I'll put my sell order on there. I don't have to do it right away. Well, when something like this happens in literally a minute time, you could, the second you put on that buy, if you had bad luck, that trade moves against you, and now instead of having your stop loss at maybe 1 or 2 points, you're suddenly frantically trying to exit a trade that's moved against you, by 4 or 5 points, right? So keep in mind your loss prevention department. Make sure that you utilize them. That's what's going to help keep you in business and ensure that you're not getting yourself into a situation where more of your inventory, more of that operating capital isn't walking out the door on any given trade than you would like to have walking out the door. So keep that in mind. Loss prevention, it's a huge part of business. And then your staffing, right? You've got to staff appropriately. Your staffing has to come into play. These are things that you can control. You can control your cash in, cash out. You can control your operating hours. You can control loss prevention, and you can control your staffing. Now, how does staffing come into play with trading? Well, again, staffing, you're going to have people working for you during the time that you've got volatility. When that bus stops and all the tourists come out, they want to buy trinkets and sodas and candy bars and t-shirts, you want to have staff there to be able to help them out and provide service to them, right? The same thing in trading. When you come to areas where you want to trade from that meet your trading plan, whether you're using something very basic like support and resistance, or you're using that latest, greatest, secret, holy grail method that was just advertised on the internet land out there, you need to be able to provide trades, right? Take a trade. Think of your trade as your staff. You don't want to overtrade. Like if you're hanging out here in no man's land and you're not at a level that you've identified in advance that you'd like to trade from, you don't need to have you don't need to take trades, right? We don't need to have any staff working for us at that point. When we come to these key levels that or whatever happens in your trading plan that triggers you to say, hey, I need to take a trade right now, that's when you want to put the staff to work, right? So that's when you're going to take a trade. That's when you're going to have money working for you, is when trade comes to a key level that you want to trade from. So think of it like a business. I've gone way longer than I wanted to go right now. I'll just put this back over here. Trading should be a business. It's less about being emotional, and emotions play into it. That's we're human. We're always going to have emotions, right? Emotions are going to play into anything that we do. But it's less about just willy-nilly going, hey, I'm going to trade. I'm a trader. Woohoo! Let's take trades today. And more about strategic planning and running a business. Again, if you're going to put money into opening a souvenir shop or a sandwich shop or a real estate company or insurance company or whatever it might be, you're going to put some thought into how that business is going to operate, when you're going to have staff working for you, what the key focus of your business is going to be, and you're going to have some level of loss prevention and inventory control with that business as well. Why would trading be any different? Trading's a business. If you're serious about it, make it a business. If you want to just gamble. Go to Vegas, go to any casino. Every state seems like has an indie casino, riverboat casinos, whatever. Go there if you want to gamble. But run your trading like a business. Give yourself a slight edge, repeat it over and over, do things the same way every time without fail, and give yourself that slight edge and you will be successful. Win more than you lose. Just have a plan that says, if I'm going to risk 1%, I'm not going to take profit until I have 2%. If you maybe have some sort of a trailing stop. There's so many methods we can do. We've talked about a lot of those in the Facebook land on various comments, posts, videos, things I've put out there. I don't want to get it deep into any of those things here right now. There's a time for it. My basic goal that should have only probably taken me 10 minutes that I've talked for 22 minutes on right now is just simply run your trading like a business. I'm certainly not knocking any of the stuff that's out there that comes in from marketing, because the only way that you're ever going to pay attention is if there's a good hook that says, world-class trader discovers the secret after 5 years of losing, has turned his trading around and now wins 99% of his trades. Okay, whatever. And I'm sure that person does it very well. I'm not knocking any specific person at all. The only way that the public is going to take note and want to buy that training is if there's a good hook like that. My point is that whatever you do, pick a method, and just do it consistently. And stop looking at all the other stuff out there. Find the base of your business and run your business. Go through continuing education. Keep looking at things that you can do to make your business better, but don't just keep constantly changing your business. Find a business plan, stick to the business plan, stick to it. Just do it. Stop screwing around. Just do it. Pick your business plan and stick with it and execute it. And after executing that and you've got it down as a base, then look at other things that you can do. I trade other things. I've got, the futures chart up here is one thing that's up. I've got, I trade foreign exchange. So I've got some forex stuff going on. I trade foreign exchange in a few different ways, actually. I mean, when I look at forex, the big thing for me is looking at it a little bit differently than the futures market. I utilize another tool, and it allows me to break the forex market down into individual currencies and look for what currencies are actually moving in order to formulate what pair I want to trade. But that's for a whole other training. Anyway, you trade multiple things, but find the focus of your business and trade it consistently the same way every time, every day. And then if you want to add to it, find little tweaks, little things that you can do to add to it, but don't just constantly keep changing your business. Find one thing, stick to it, focus on it, give yourself that slight edge, and execute that slight edge over and over and over. That's all you have to do to be successful over the long term. understand there's going to be losses. Inventory is going to walk out the door from time to time. Just control how much goes so that you're making enough to cover those losses and give yourself that growth in the long term. Day over day is irrelevant. You need to look at longer term things. What's happening week over week, month over month, quarter over quarter, so on and so forth. Look at it like an actual business. Start treating your trading like a business and stop constantly learning to trade. Okay? So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you. I'll talk to you soon. We'll do another video here a couple days. I got some other topics I want to chat with you about, but I'll let this one soak in first. All right, have a great day. We'll talk to you later. As always, if you've got friends, family that want to learn about making money from home, making money from your laptop, have them subscribe to my channels. I've got a Facebook page. It's not even a group, it's just a page. You don't even have to join it. You can just come and follow it and be a little ghost on the page watching what I'm doing, the training that I'm putting out. I've just started doing stuff on YouTube. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Make Money From Your Laptop, or you can just go to my site, makemoneyfromyourlaptop.com. I'm not going to ask you for money. I'm not asking you to pay me for anything that I'm doing here. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart. I've been fortunate since 2005 to be able to work from home and kind of live life on my terms, and I want to share that with you guys as well. I do sell stuff through other brands, and obviously if you want to be part of those brands, I would love to have you on board. But here on MakeMoneyFromYourLaptop.com, I'm showing you basic stuff that works if you apply it. You've got to actually do the work and do it, but it'll work. It's basic stuff that works. And I want you to use it and be successful. And if down the road you want to learn something else and want to get more advanced, I can refer you to people that can help you with that, or other of my own brands that can help you with that. All right, so anyway, that's it for now. Have a great day. Talk to you later.